Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to How to Counter Abyssal Yufine. So let's get started right away. I made a small tier list. Here we go. And let's get started by a unit that's actually not on the tier list because she would be on every single tier list, otherwise it's gonna be Monk. So anytime someone picks a knight, you can pick Monk basically. Like you can, I don't think she's a good early pick, but on 3-4, 3-4-5, Monk is basically one of the best units in the game. And she counters pretty much anyone trying to play slow. So yeah, if you struggle against slow players, definitely should build Monk and you should definitely play her. Just don't commit to her too early, because while she's insanely strong, she does have some counters, and she can be pretty awkward to play if your opponent pick those. But yeah, as a late pick, she's the best unit in the game by far for against slow players. Now for the other units, so Laia. Laia is basically a very fast cycling DC. If you've played Yufine before, you probably noticed this. She can be kind of awkward if you overcommit to supports. Like if you pick one knight to support, she's pretty weak to LT. She's pretty weak to DC. Laia is basically she's basically a better version of those two. So very strong unit overall, very strong against Yufine overall. She does have some weaknesses, but she's almost never a bad pick, and she has a pretty decent win rate matchup against Yufine, because you just cycle fast, S3, kill Yufine, GG. That's about it. Ideally for the build you want her to be a bit faster than mine, though mine is fairly slow, but yeah. Like you want like I think between 250 270 is ideal. You don't want to go too low on bulk either, but yeah, 250s, 270 is ideal. Then DDR, mine isn't geared because I pre-ban him. He isn't that hard to deal with, just really annoying overall. So just since I have a free ban slot after Monk, I just pre-ban him. DDR isn't that good of a unit overall. Like he's annoying, he's good, but he isn't that good. He has a decent amount of counters. The main thing is if your opponent plays really slow, like they just go knight support Yufine, then he's really annoying. He's really annoying to deal with. Like you pair him with LRK, it's really hard for Yufine to deal with him. So yeah, pretty good unit against her as well. Fairly strong pick. Just you need to pick him properly. He isn't as strong as Laia in this sense. You need to build a decent team around him, and you need to pick him properly. And you can't just pick him into any situation. Like your opponent needs to go knight support Yufine. Otherwise, if they go faster than that, you can play it. Right, and then the I wouldn't say maybe third best counter, but yeah, one of the three best counters add in. Not on this build. Ideally, you want something more similar to this. So let's see what we can do. Show, attack, in damage. Like you want something very high damage, basically. This, yeah, whatever. This and this, yeah. Like you want something more along those lines. You want slower than that too. So. The reason why Adin is pretty good against Yufine is because you let Yufine take the turn. You build Adin that's slower than Yufine, so you go like 160, 170 speed. You're gonna be slower than most on average. Like 165 is, I would say, ideal because Yufine really wants to be around 170 speed. So like you build a 165 Adin, you go really high damage. Yufine's gonna S1, you're gonna S3, you're gonna one-tap her. And like that's the game basically. So yeah, pretty good counter to Yufine, pretty strong unit overall. She isn't that good right now, so I don't think you should pick her that often. But if your opponent plays really slow, I just go like their main carry is just Yufine, and you can afford to ban them like Luluka, stuff like that, because defense buffs kind of annoying to deal with. Then yes, a slow, very high damage Adin is a very good way to deal with Yufine. And then moving on, LRK, mine isn't geared. But yeah, he's a good unit against, like he's kind of fallen out of meta, isn't that good anymore. because yeah, mostly because of this unit, but yeah. Like aside from that, like is still the main reason to pick LRK is DDR basically. So if you play DDR, you kind of want to pick LRK as well, and then those two together are really good against Yufine. He's still good against Yufine even without DDR. Like his S2 is really strong, his S3 is really strong as well. Like it's a lot of damage, he stacks up really fast. This is very strong as well. Immunity is nice to make sure your team doesn't get attacked down by Yufine, like your carries. He's a good pick against Yufine, just yeah, he's kinda harder to draft than the other three, basically. Like he's kinda hard to draft right now because like the main realistically, if you want to play Knights right now, you either play Searmin or you play Arrowwell, right? Like those are the two main Knights you're gonna play right now, so it's a bit harder to play, but it's still a good answer to Yufine. Like it's still pretty annoying for her. Then Ken is good. His issue is he has no tempo. Yeah, like that's basically like he's a hard answer to Yufine. Like if Ken is alive and she presses 3, she's gonna die instantly. And like she can't really kill Ken overall. Like she doesn't really have the damage to kill Ken, assuming he has like mitigation or anything. So he's a hard answer to Yufine, but at the same time, that's all he does. Like unless your opponent's draft is literally just Yufine, he's like he doesn't do anything basically. Like he doesn't, because he's not gonna put pressure on your opponent. He's not gonna do anything. He's not gonna take turn. He's not gonna do anything at all. He's just sit there and counter Yufine, which is nice, but it's not really enough overall. And plus, he doesn't even work against Yufine if your opponent drafts like Searmin or Ruel, stuff like that, because they can just put invincibility on Yufine, then presses 3. He counters into nothing, and then she one-taps him with a swarm. So yeah, he can be an answer. He can still be drafted sometimes, just not very often, basically. Because yeah, just because he has no tempo at all, right? So then Elvira, I think Elvira is a pretty good unit. And plus she's really easy to gear. She doesn't really like have any like stat requirements. I would say just go like IER, some effectiveness, and then like whatever. The thing with Elvira is she doesn't stop Yufine from doing her job. Yufine can still counter, she can still do a lot of damage. So when you draft Elvira, it's not a counter to Yufine, it's a counter to Yufine's S3. That's what a lot of people don't have in mind when they draft her. So like, if I have, for instance, LRK plus Elvira, and like something to force ban after, right? And Yufine is like a solo carry, then I can win easily because Yufine is never gonna get to S3, and LRK is eventually just gonna kill her with S3, basically. Like, as dumb as it sounds, if she can't S3, LRK is just gonna eventually take over the game, and it's gonna win, assuming you have some sustain on your team on top. Or like, she works as well with like Ruana, stuff like that. You just prevent your opponent from having a finisher. So yeah, that's good. But it's not enough. You need your draft to like follow up on that, right? Like you just can't. Like you think it's 3 great, but what if he just kill you? What if he just kills you with this one, right? Then he doesn't care about pressing S3. So Elvira, good unit, but you need to draft her properly. Otherwise, she isn't gonna do anything. You're just gonna lose points for fun. Then the last 3, Celine, like. She can be okay in some situations. The main thing is that if you get countered once, she dies. Like, yeah. She can be okay. Ideally, you want mitigation and shield in your team. Like, otherwise, yeah, like, it's just doomed. So, yeah, very awkward unit to play. She can be okay. In some niche situations, she can be okay. But yeah, that's it. Like, you need to make sure your mitigation gets through if you wanna pick Celine. And I mean, that's about it, honestly, but like, that's already kinda hard sometimes, because if your opponent bans your mitigation and you have Celine, you're basically -2 units. I mean, yeah, you're basically -1 unit, because Celine kinda just dies. She can be good, but she's very risky. Just simply because one counter and she's dead, right? So, yeah. And then Liti DC. I don't have DC. I have Liti though, but Liti DC, you only pick those two if your opponent overcommits to support. Like, yeah, that's basically it. So, like, if your opponent goes Knight, support, support, like something like that, it's free Liti. It's free Liti, it's free DC. If they don't do that, then you can pick them. Like, those two, they're really weak to counters. They're really weak to, like, just, like, dying, basically, before they get to do their job, right? And so your opponent needs to pick something very low on tempo. So, like, something like, I don't know, Luluka, Xiamin, and Guy, for instance, or like Luluka, Xiamin, Destina. In those situations, you can pick Liti, you can pick DC. They're very good picks. It's just most players are not gonna draft like this because it's very bad, obviously. So yeah. But if your opponent draft like this, then Liti DC like they work very well. They work very well. Your opponent overcommit to slow units, you just like to support rather than slow units, you just punish them instantly with those two. Alright. Yeah, I think that's about it for counters. Like, honestly, she doesn't have that many counters, let's be honest. Like, I think she's probably the best unit in the game right now, and like by a fairly decent margin, I'd say as well. She's actually just never bad, basically. Like, there's no downside to picking Yufine. Like, there's no situation where she's really, like, she's bad. Like, she's just that good, actually. So, yeah. Like, she can be kinda hard to deal with, she can be kinda annoying, but those units, especially the top 3, like Laya, DDR, Adin, pretty good answers overall, pretty good units. If you pick them, you should have decent success against Yufine. And again, if your opponent goes Yufine Knight, if they pick a Knight at any point, don't hesitate to like slam Monk on like 3, 4, 5. Like, she's the best answer by far. Like, she's the best answer to like, yeah, like slow players, basically. Anyway. That's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and hope you have a great day. Peace.